AJ. AJ Hunter. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
This is my wonderful boyfriend, everyone, for those who don't know. So I brought him on today so that he can give a man's perspective on men and their journey to wholeness. So, AJ, what are 2 to 3 ways that men could work on their journey to wholeness? I know it's different for women, so I wanted to bring you on and so that you can have a man's perspective and help people or the guys that are watching on their journey to wholeness.
Okay. I think wholeness is something that can be experienced by both parties, both men and women, in a very similar way. One way for men to have wholeness, I feel most important, is physical health. Making sure that they work out, making sure they try their best to eat right. Oftentimes men's eating habits are a lot worse than women, and you want to make sure that you're not eating yourself into an early grave by horrible eating habits. Of course, spiritual wholeness. I'll make it real simple by saying prayer life and daily reading your word, or reading your word daily. Although it sounds really, really churchy, it's really, especially for those who ascribe to the Christian faith, it's actually very paramount that you make sure that you are giving time set aside for God. If you're a man who is dating, or a man who's married, I'm not married, I've never been married, but it would be kind of hard for you to have a successful marriage without being able to spend time with that individual. As understanding as they may be, as loving and forgiving as they may be, if you're not willing to make time for that individual, no gift, no amount of money, no anything will really be able to take place at that time. After a while, it'll just be you that they want. Aside from all the things, it's the same way with God. I feel that God oftentimes, because God made man for him and made woman for man, I feel oftentimes God gets cheated because man is captivated fully by his present versus making sure that he's being a present for God. So I think on a man's journey to wholeness, I'm trying not to be too long-winded, so shut me down when I stop talking too much. I think on men's journey to wholeness, it's important to evaluate yourself to see where are you going. I think that'd be my third thing. Make sure that you have a physical awareness, a spiritual awareness, and a natural awareness. I think it's oftentimes important for men to evaluate themselves. I evaluate myself just about every 60 days and see, okay, how did I handle these last 2 months? Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry. Good.
I evaluate myself about every 60 days to make sure that I'm on track for reaching my goals. And I feel that that's important for men to make sure that you're giving yourself some kind of measuring stick. That way you know you're not being stagnant, or that you're not just stuck in one place without being able to have forward direction, forward movement. So I feel like those 3 things will be something substantial that will lead to men being whole. Physical, because you'll be able to give your significant other something to look forward to, both physique wise, amen, and health wise. Work out so you can live long, eat right so that you can live long, and they don't have to worry about her trying to rush you to the ER and telling them not to resuscitate so she can get the insurance policy. I'm teasing. I'm playing. That's not funny because people, we plead the blood. I bet y'all eat right. Spiritual is very important because you want to make sure that that you're dating in holiness. In modern day age, and I'll make these my last few remarks. In a modern day age, it's very, very difficult at times to date holy. And the reason I say it's difficult is because in the world that we're surrounded with, carnality is left and right. I mean, social media oozes of sex. TV got sex on there, all kind of sex. You know why I get caught up on that part? Anywho, that goes to show even more the fact that you see that around you so much, that you know how much more you need to be in God's presence, how much more time you need to spend with the Father, to ensure that you're not fulfilling the lusts of the flesh, and make sure that you keep yourself on your guidelines, your points, your goals for yourself. So that's all I got.
So you have physical, spiritual, and a lifetime marker, basically.
Sure, lifetime marker.
So your measurement for yourself.
Measurement for yourself.
Okay. So that's what your recommendations of what you feel men need on their journey to wholeness.
If you're going to be whole, you want to make sure that you take that journey.
But I said too, I was like, our full capacity of wholeness won't be until we are...
Till we caught up.
Yeah.
Listen, that goes without saying. Till we caught up to meet him.
Yes. So the next question I had was, how can couples who are dating in holiness help each other on their journey to wholeness?
My biggest epiphany, if you will, that I think I have about that is taking time to understand one another. Mm-hmm. Really taking time to interview one another and ask one another, like, what do you like? What don't you like? Why don't you like that? To really understand why someone thinks the way they think, not to necessarily change an individual. I feel that oftentimes we can learn how to coexist and deal with one another better and easier if we will only take the proper time to effectively communicate. Not necessarily communicating just to get my point across, mm-hmm. but communicating to ensure that I understand your point of view as well. That way I can be able to take in what you're saying, and I can be slow to speak but very quick to listen. I can be slow to speak but very quick to listen, and I can take in what you're saying in order to apply it, and not just to listen for a chance to respond or give my rebuttal or whatever have you.
I'm laughing because he always says that I have a rebuttal.
Oh, she's a rebuttaler.
But
she's a rebuttaler.
I am working on that, and I've gotten better.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Praise God. So, by updating each other and communicating, you feel that is...
Updating is, when she says updating, what she's talking about is oftentimes, my pastor shared a message, and since we're creatures of habit, it's easy for you to get stuck in a way. So when someone does something to offend you or does something to get on your nerves, you automatically put a negative mark at times in your mind about that individual. And they might have gone through a metamorphosis of maturity, mm-hmm. where they've gotten so much better in the thing that used to irritate you, that you still remain irritated with the individual because you haven't updated yourself. You haven't updated and said, okay, wait a minute, you don't do that anymore. Wow, that's what's up. Okay, let me change the way I feel about you in the circumstance. So that's what she means when she says update.
Yeah, or he updates me often on the way that I approach him about certain situations, because he used to act a certain way and now he's matured.
What's her way?
Praise God.
What's her way?
We're not going to get on camera and talk about that.
You
He used to have a really bad temper.
Oh, that's true. I did.
So, yeah, he used to...
Not toward her.
No, not toward me, no.
But I just... y'all, and I'm still working on it, but I am a strong. I come against very strongly foolish behavior. I cannot stand foolish behavior, so that vexes me. But I've been exercising temperance. Holy Ghost.
Yes, the Holy Ghost has helped him along the way. And
see how she was about to take the Lord's credit?
No.
She about to take the Father's credit.
I was saying I believe that I was able to shine some light on your journey to wholeness to help you see yourself so that you're able to make the adjustments, the proper adjustments needed. Right?
Yeah.
So, you said communication. I believe in a relationship to help the other individual on their journey to wholeness. It would take communication as well. And then also spending quality time so that you're able to, I wouldn't say analyze, but...
So we have a thing that we do. We haven't done it pretty recent, but we
You call that an update, right? Or our annual...
We don't annual nothing. That's yearly.
Oh. Well, what do we call it?
It's like a time we come together over dinner and just like have a time to share. It's an ecclesiastical dinner. It's an ecclesiastical dinner. And
you don't have to explain.
No, I don't want to explain. It's a time when we come together and share something that might really be bothering us that we feel actually might be possibly detrimental to our relationship. Mm-hmm. And we give each other room and time and space to speak freely. And yeah.
Hold no grudges.
Hold no grudges, even if she's trying to use profanity. We still.
I do not cuss. I do not use profanity. But I get my point across in the most intelligent way.
Prophecy and profanity can't come out the same mouth.
It can't. It cannot. Amen. But communication is definitely one of the dire tools needed on your belt on your journey to wholeness. And you can't do it alone. You can get so far, but it's better to have an accountability partner. Not saying that it has to be your significant other or the person that you're dating, but if you are dating in holiness, while on your journey to wholeness, it's really, really comforting and also encouraging to have that support partner able to have a revelation of who you are, and also they're able to help you catapult you, to where you're supposed to be, or they'll be like, hey, you need to like reel it in a little bit and get you together quickly and in love. But it also holds you accountable. So having that accountability partner, I would definitely say, is important in a relationship. And then not being afraid to call each other out when it's needed. Not to be like, oh, I called you out, or I got one up on you. No.
I just want us to be right and make it to heaven. She wants us to keep a tally mark.
No, I have not.
She has a dry erase board.
I have not. I do not.
With tally marks.
No. I've changed a lot since. I've grown a lot since we've been together. And we've been together for, how long have we been together?
Two years, 1 month, and 14 days.
Yo, got it down to a science. We've been together for 2 years and 1 month and 14 days. And I didn't even know that part. Anyways.
I feel another important thing, honestly, that I've never had in any relationship I've ever been in is, and she said it, accountability. We have a thing that we like to do, and we won't call them out, but there's a special couple that we love hanging around. Well, there's actually a few of them. One of them, of course, is my pastor, my first lady. I love hanging around them. Not to like just be like up under them. That's really not even my personality type, but
really good role models.
they're really good role models, and they're a successful couple. Mm-hmm. A successful couple to me is a couple that's not necessarily perfect, but a couple that is perfect for one another. A couple that no matter where you were to go, there's no one else in the world that would be able to handle you the way and really love you the way that that person does. And there's a couple that is closer to our age, and I've never seen them argue. And I'm not saying that, I'm sure they might, get upset and they might have their exchange of words, but I've never seen them argue. I've never seen them be at wit's end with one another. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's very, very important to have healthy couples that you can be around, that you can vent, that can offer wisdom to you, that can
pour into us and help pour into them.
Okay.
So if it should be an even exchange.
All right.
So if your friends that you're hanging around aren't able to pour into you or aren't able to help you on your journey to wholeness as well as you help them, then they're not your.
Get a new waiter. If they can't pour into you, get somebody else to come serve you. Hello?
For sure. So that's all I have. I just wanted to bring the love of my life on here and share with you all a man's perspective on their journey to wholeness. I've been sharing for the past 13 days a woman's perspective and also what God has given me to share with you all as well. But I also wanted to share a man's perspective and then us as a couple. So, that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
Be blessed.
Be blessed, guys. Thank you all for watching day 13. I'm going to make this a 2-part series. So I'm going to make this day 13 and day 14. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And
holiness.
Yes.
Without which no man shall see God. That's what the text say. Argue me if you want to, but that's what the Bible says.
Yes. Holiness tonight. Holiness always. But make sure that you please subscribe, hit the little bell so that you're able to see when I post new videos. And this won't be the end. This is just the end of this series to 14 Days of Wholeness. So I'm super excited about it. Thank you all for your support and your prayers. And thank you all for watching. Be blessed. And you gotta say it.
You want me to say what you?
Yeah.
Be thou made whole.
It's be made whole.
Everybody whole. Holiness.
Be made whole, guys. See you next.
Holiness.
See you next time.
Peace, y'all. Love y'all. Much love. Peace.
See ya.
Toodaloo. You gotta end it. I'm just gonna keep looking at y'all too.